All right, this morning we've got the CPI report, and it really surprised the market and pushed everything up pre-market, and it basically came in softer than expected. And that gives a lot of room for the Fed to give us those 2 cuts that the market had priced in already still for this year. And the analysts are already looking at the number of cuts that will be possible in 2026. That's very, very good for the markets overall. Of course, the tug of war that's going to drive the bulls or the bears is going to be whether or not inflation can come down, empowering the Fed to continue to give us some cuts. Now, I just got out of a really nice live trade session with the Stocks with Josh community where we took some Google based on Money Mike, calling it out. He actually mentioned it before the live started, and we took it. Depending on how long you held, people were in there making 200% on that play. I booked like 40, 50% and didn't take it the second time and really regret that. But when we were done with the live, me and Mike were chatting and I said, okay, Mike, what is your favorite play that you're looking at right now? And we threw out a couple names, and I'm going to bring him on the show, and we're going to talk to you guys about those names. And I'm going to give you, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you my opinion as to where the markets are going to go next week. Is the biggest threat being a bull right now, or is the biggest threat being a bear right now? Let's pull my man, Money Mike, onto the show. Mike, first off, sir, congratulations on giving the community during our live trade session that Google call. I don't remember how everything unfolded, but I know I jumped on NVDA to get a quick 50%. Yeah. I was celebrating that, and you were calling off AMD and Google at the same time, and Palantir, and we were just winning across the board. Now, some of the other plays cooled off, but Google, which had lagged the morning, and that's actually why you had said you liked it. It was lagging big tech. And Google's the biggest lagger. I've talked about that on my show in the past. It does. And you know what? It's like when everything else runs up and has its moment and starts to cool off, then Google decides, hey, guys, don't forget about me, and went up like crazy.
That's how it was earlier in the year, Josh, back in just after April. And you told me that after a little chat, and we was talking about Google lagging behind everything, and you kept pushing. I think Google's about to catch up. And
now, in my video, Mike, yesterday, I talked about my favorite quantum computing stock, and it was a little bit of a clickbait on my title because I know people thought it would be like Rigetti or one of those heavy hitters. But at the end, I pulled out and said, no, it's Google, guys. Because Google, and the reason I gave was that they are absolutely pumping in money on quantum computing R&D, but they make so much money. They're one of the few companies that can afford to have that long-term vision. And when they do develop products, they're going to be one of those few companies that can put them directly into their revenue channels and begin to cash in on them. So I love, if you like quantum, but you have been dismayed by the cool off or the rollover that you've seen in that sector, it might be time to look at Google. But let's just talk about the names that you and I called out here that we were talking about after the show. So I personally like Google. I called it out as my September winner. It cooled off, but it's going right back up to the top. And I want to remind everybody that I've said that it's going to $300, right? They're just well positioned. But why don't you take a minute, Mike, give me your thoughts on Google, and why don't you do a little charting for the family? And then I want to just, before you even do it, if you guys are not following this guy, he's got his own channel called Spy Lord Scalps. His name is Money Mike, but I personally like to call him Millionaire Mike. And it's a small baby channel that's a heavy hitter with the technicals. Mike, so go over to his channel and make sure you hit the like and subscribe and feed the algorithm over there for him because he deserves it. Make a comment and just drop a heart on his page. But Mike, I'm going to put your screen up. What do you see right now? What's the number one trigger? Now I'm looking for triggers. I want to, these are buy signals. I got some money on the sideline. I don't have it all employed. I'm looking for places to drop it. Actually, I did buy Google short, skip, and leaps. I notified you guys of that in yesterday's video, but I probably want more. Mike, what are your thoughts? Where's the danger zone too?
Yeah, Josh, and maybe you can help me with danger zone, man. you've got me on these 2-day charts quite a bit. You know, if you go over and add yourself a custom interval on TradingView, you can throw the 2-day in there, and I really like the look of the two. This cooled off just a little bit, Josh, and it bull flagged down through here for us. I loved it on the daily. When we got that flush last Friday, the first thing to come back the following Monday was Google, right back up. And
you and I talked about that.
We had that conversation. That was the first thing that came back, and I gave it to the family on a Monday night stream, and you can see what it did from Tuesday all the way up into Friday. And now we got a back test, I notice, of the same channel. Look at that back test.
Perfect.
On the money.
Yep.
Brother, on the money.
And now, brother, we have opened and closed a candle above the previous high. Come on.
Above the previous high. That's exactly right. So I think this get continuation.
Mike, thank you for dropping those technicals. They're all very powerful. And I don't know what to tell you guys. If you're not in Google, then I'm failing you. I'm failing you. Because I've been a big Tesla guy, and I am still a big Tesla guy. And I think my Tesla direction was very helpful to everybody, because I told you it's not capitulation time on Tesla. It's go time on Tesla. I'm not even talking about Tesla today. Tesla's sucking me back in. I'm trying to get out, but it keeps pulling me back in. No, I'm in Tesla. If you don't hear me talking about Tesla, it's because I'm happy with it. If I get upset on Tesla, I'll come out here and start talking about them. But for now, it's a hold. Now, what I am getting more excited about is Google, right? Google, man. The chart looks beautiful. It's got to be one of the best looking big tech charts. And it's because the story is coming together. You know, the AI story. They're a threat. They're a threat to a lot of companies. This is a powerhouse big tech. And like I said, you know, there's so many ways of looking at the value of Google, and I think it's underrated. It's definitely not overpriced, in my opinion. But that's what I'm doing with my money, right? Yeah. I'm just right now adding to Google. The chart looks great. I highlighted something when he had it up, which was that we've opened and closed a candle above that September peak that we made.
That's right.
Which means that September move is in full continuation. Yep. So do what you want to do. Let me know in the comments. First of all, just drop a heart in my comments for Mike if you enjoyed his technicals. And let me know if you are in the Google Play with me, okay? I want to highlight two other quick stocks because I just need you guys to have this information early going into next week, okay? Anything could happen. And in my opinion, if we get any weird negative news stories about the China trade deal not working out or anything like that, or it escalating, I think it's going to work out. Now, I could be wrong, right? But each of those, every single time this negative tweet comes out, the market flashes down only to get quickly bought back up.
Eats it right back up.
Yeah. So I think that trade deal is going to go through, and these stocks are going to have that potential blow off top that's going to push us higher. Everything's coming together. I don't know what it is you don't like about this market. We just got soft inflation, right? We got a dovish position Fed. We've got the potential, it hasn't been worked out, of the biggest trade deal that's going to take a lot of pressure, further pressure off of inflation. If that trade deal gets worked out, everything Donald Trump wants is going to come together. This is not a political commentary, but if he gets that trade deal worked out, a lot of problems go away and the market can run with a dovish Fed. Come on, we could be getting back to, you guys thought that 2025 was good. That would be an incredible moment for us and the markets would rip. And so in my mind, and I'm already getting to the end of my video commentary, and I didn't even give you my two other favorite stocks, but that, you know, I'm not telling you that we're not in a high volatile, high risk environment. We are. But the question is, where does the biggest threat lie? The biggest threat, in my opinion, is we've got to give the president the benefit of the doubt that these trade deals will get worked out. But until they get worked out, the rhetoric is going to be dangerous to the markets because the markets are going to be on edge. But here's what we've seen in all of September and October is that every single time bad news or fear news came out through the pundits, we saw that they bought up the dip. And so in my opinion, that's the pattern and we got to stick with it. Let me show you one of my second favorite stocks after Google, and that's going to be Baba, baby. Baba now I talked about this in a recent video, but I want to explain it more. Okay, I don't want you guys not to understand this. There's a strong history. These are monthly candles that when BABA begins to break out, so it went through this period of sideways consolidation, and it moved up and it consolidated for 3 months, moved higher, consolidated for 3 months, and then moved higher. And so technically, we're in a situation where we could cool off, especially if that trade deal doesn't get worked out, and we could consolidate and pull back between this 163 and 145. But if you go back and you look at the history of the past, when it turned around and took a step up and pulled back for 3 months, took a step up and pulled back for 3 months, after those 2 stages in which it broke out above the consolidation area, similar to where we're at right now, it ripped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months straight. And that's kind of what we need to be on watch for right now is we are potentially, if this is a move similar to this move, and the catalysts support it, the AI story and potentially a trade deal opportunity supports it, we are halfway through a potential massive move that could lead Alibaba up to 250. Right? And what's the trigger? I love to give triggers. The trigger, man, that's what it's all about, is 180. Sure. Okay. And you can see that this candle, it turned red on us. Okay. And it pulled back a little bit, but it's slowly creeping back up to that 180. And if it turns green, we're going to get another expansion candle like this, and we're going to shoot straight to 210. So I'm just wanting you guys to be fully and amply and completely warned about what it is I'm watching. There's always risk. It's not as simple as buy BABA, go long. I do love the BABA story. And personally, I do believe that if we get pullbacks on BABA, those are, in my opinion, opportunities, because I don't think this BABA story, this BABA AI story, a direct competitor with the US's Open AI, and that's the biggest, biggest bubble or biggest story in the world right now, is the AI story behind ChatGPT, OpenAI. And the biggest competitor to that is Alibaba. But we can buy their stock. We can't buy OpenAI. We can only get exposure to OpenAI through the companies that are exposed to them, like Microsoft. But BABA had been underpriced compared to its peers, and it's positioning itself to be that OpenAI competitor. And if that trade deal gets worked out, you got to know that the first thing I'm going to do, I promise you, is buy. Okay. That's the story. We got time for one more stock, and I'd love for Michael to take it. Let's Amazon. Go for it.
So this one's early. We saw a really similar pattern with Google. Now, my trigger over this, Josh, is to close over 224.
Yep.
This is, and we are so close. It's knocking on the door. But I'm really watching 224 to break out. This is the 2-day, and look at this RSI. We just took the signal line, and we're moving back over 50. The MACD is about to, here, let me zoom in. Look at that MACD. She's curling up, trying to give us another run. Back up through the signal line, back through the zero line. This is a huge buy signal if we get that. And I love the pattern, Josh, this descending channel. We break up.
Yeah.
This is early. I'm watching it right now. Would love to get over 224 for a breakout. I think the technicals are there, and it's looking good. It's had its pullback. It's cooled down.
So let me highlight. So I had on my chart 224. Michael's got on his chart 224. But let me clarify that with you. So remember, we were talking about triggers. BABA's trigger is what? 180, right?
180.
The trigger for Amazon is to get above this week and to close above 224. But everything requires 2 candles, okay?
That's right.
1 candle to cross your trigger price, and the second candle to cross the high of that candle that crossed your trigger price. So we're not going to get all of that today, all right? Some of that's going to have to come next week. And as we're moving towards big tech earnings, this is positioned perfectly for a continuation. But if you want to take a bearish view, it's still inside that channel, and it hasn't broken out of it yet. So we're looking for confirmation. But you need to have Amazon on your radar. And I'm going to just tell you how I feel. If you're long Amazon, if you're long Baba, and if you're long Google, and by long, I mean you intend to hold this for more than a year, in my mind, at this moment, it's kind of hard to make a mistake. But that's the way I view it. And I also counter those bullish views with something called discipline, which means that if we reject off 224 and we begin to pull back, I've got to let short-term positions go, which would be short-term options. I got to let them go. It's only when we confirm above that I begin to increase my position size. And so the story is not just about the next hot stock, because there's a lot of stocks that are hot. But if you don't have a plan, you're going to have patience. And if you don't use discipline, you could be in the right play at the right time and still lose money. We have a guy in the Discord who was right there with us while Google was printing 200%, and he was even up one moment at $200, but he got shook out of the trade. I'm not calling out any names. We love everybody in there, and I'm proud of him, and I believe that he's going to continue to win in the days ahead. But it is so easy that even if you've got the right plan, it doesn't mean this is going to work out. So what you do is you do your trading, you do your investing, I personally think, in a good community. And we have the SWJ Chart Goat University community, which I think is second to nobody. I think it's going to be the best and is the best community to be part of anywhere. And we got Mike in there, and I've got a host of crown traders that focus on different things. And I appreciate everything that you do, Mike. Mike trades with the family 5 days a week, with the community. He puts himself in the arena, on the line, making calls, good or bad. He's there trading every single day with folks, and that gives people a sense of confluence. You're looking at it and you're thinking, what should I do? I kind of like it here. And then Mike shouts out, I'm in. Okay, these are my lines. It gives you a place of agreement. And we had nothing but winning trades today. Tesla at the tail end printed. If you guys stuck with that, we were able to take a win on it all. But appreciate your contribution, Mike. Guys, I want to remind you, Mike's got his own journey. He's part of my community, but he's got his own journey, and he's on YouTube. And I'd love to see him hit his goal for the year, the amount of people, and it's not going to happen unless some of you guys go over there and subscribe, and he deserves it. He's worth following. I love his technicals. I love everything he's bringing to the family. Thank you, Mike, for being part of the show today.
Thanks
guys,
for having me, man. Thank you.
Don't sleep on the Stocks with Josh Discord. Hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a peaceful and wonderful weekend. Bye-bye. If you need better trading tools, check out the offer right now from the Moomoo investment app. They're running a limited time promo. You can get up to $1,000 in NVDA stock just for making a deposit. Plus, they're offering 8.1% APY on your uninvested cash for the first 3 months. So your money's working even when you're not trading. I'm a big fan of their earnings calendar, and when a company reports, you can just tap the earnings tab for a clean breakdown of revenue, earnings per share, and company news all in one place. Also, there are 0 commissions on US stocks, ETFs, and options, and no inactivity fees. Whether you trade every day or just check in once a week, you're not getting hit with hidden charges. You get level 2 market data with over 60 indicators, so you have the tools you need. Go to the Moomoo link below to grab your free stock and earn 8% on your sitting cash.